Young Donnie was good.
I'm chilling, man. How you feeling?
Oh well, man. That's what's up. You got the official spot. You got the cushions on the walls.
Yeah, man. I'm just in my spot where I cook up, man, when I'm producing and all that, man. So
Dag, man. That's the spot you was trying to take us to right there.
yeah, well, this is one room, but it's another
See that shit? See that flex? You hear that
complex.
flex?
He's like, yeah, this is just one room.
It's one room.
Nah. But yeah, this is a place, yeah.
That's what's up.
There's one room up in this joint.
Man, so what's going down, man?
Craziness, man. Craziness. It's like, even like when I was out there, I wanted to get with you, man. Please pardon us, bro. I want to like get that whole tape done and all that, because
Right.
it's so funny, man. Like, we was running so much. I was like, oh, I could just hit him when we come back and we'll be all good, man. We ain't even get back. That shit was insane that weekend, bro.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for Trey Day. I really wasn't. I thought I would be ready. I know
it's a lot, man. If you're trying to do everything, bro, it's a lot.
Or and then we ain't really hang out at night. Like, I didn't even hang out. I ain't do the after hour shit. Like, I ain't do none of that.
We ain't go to Bunnies.
We ain't go to Bunnies.
The joint.
Word up. But yeah, man, I'm still bugging out. Like, I'm like, yo, I think I did interview him. You know what I'm saying?
That's a trip, bro. I would have loved to have heard that.
I know, man.
It's crazy.
I'm actually gonna go to the office next week and get my my tape joint, because I got like a little mini boom box at the office that I could put it in and I could try to grab it. And I'm hitting you, bro. Once I listen to it, I'm hitting you.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So, man, what's going down, man? 20 years of King, man. What's going on?
Oh, wow. Gracious, man. 20. Hearing that shit just puts a lot of stuff in perspective, man. My middle daughter, she turned 18 in January. We just dropped her off at the college yesterday.
Hold up. Was it January 23rd?
Yep, January 23rd.
January 23rd. Yo, Donnie, it's so crazy. So you talk about his middle daughter, Tanae. Like, I remember January 23rd. The thing that my bookmark is the Kelly Rowland issue of King Magazine.
Bam.
That's my bookmark for his daughter. That's how crazy our life was at that time.
We had all these, like, because remember, I had turned 26 as I got the magazine. And we have like all these life moments connected to this magazine, man. Like, all types of stuff. I'm talking births, deaths, highs and lows.
Right.
And oh shit, I gotta turn this shit off. To be able to live through that with 20 years, man. I'm bugging, man. Just seeing her going to school, knowing that I had the magazine before her.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy, man. But we just love the fact that we were able to influence and dictate and trendset with our words and photos and women and intellect and really dope reporting, as well as lift people up in their careers. There's so many fashion people, editors, writers, photographers, stylists that came up, while we had King and came through that publication, man. It's glorious to see so many people flourishing.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I know me and Adell kind of ran it down, man. But Datwon, like, can you tell? And I'm gonna come back to Adell in a minute.
No, do you?
We went for, man, probably damn near 2 hours or something crazy shit on the phone, man. But man, tell me, like, what were you doing, like, before even King? You know what I mean? Like, what even led up to that?
Yeah, man. So leading up to King, like, I started. It's so funny. I'm at Vibe now. I'm editor-in-chief of Vibe, and this is my third time being here. But I got in the game. I was a sophomore in college, and I used to run around with the X-Men crew, which is the DJ crew, and they turned their name into the Executioners. So Rob Swift, Rock Raider, Mr. Sinister, like all the DMC dope
Right,
dudes,
right.
or just turntablists. And I used to just run around the city with them. I used to, be up in Rob's crib while they getting their routines together and everything, going up against the illest of the ill in the DJ world. And I started meeting a lot of different people, but at the same time, I was in college. Um, I was writing at the school paper. I went to Baruch College, which was in the heart of Manhattan, like right there on 23rd Street in Lexington. And Vibe was on 31st in Lexington. So I used to, once I realized like the proximity, I used to go to vibe.com every day because that was like the only spot that was consistently putting up like little newsy things. This is early. This is 96.
That's what I was gonna say. What years? It's 96. So they had Vibe.com back then.
Yeah, they had it like 95 probably, maybe even 94. But they definitely had it 95 because I had been checking it for them already. But in 96, they seemed to be a lot more consistent with like putting up stuff from the magazine, little tidbits here and there. And then they had like these subcategories called e-zines, electronic magazines. And that's where they let some of the staff from the tech team have their own magazines, their own little websites or web pages at that time. And one was called the suicide.com. And that was all underground hip hop. So my man Greg Bishop, who just stepped down as a small business what was it, small business commissioner of New York, of whole New York. he was the tech dude over at vibe.com, and he had this website on underground hip hop, and I used to be like, who is this dude? And man, oh man, I called him up. He needed some help. He had it on the website connected to Vibe, and I went up there, man. Long story short, I got the internship just by being there. Like, and I just started showing up to the office, and he was like, yeah, just have a seat. And now I'm next to all my heroes. I got Bones Malone down the hall. I got, Kevin Powell had just left. Danielle Smith is running the joint. My man Black Spot became my best friend, and he was working, and he was the guy that did the Biggie Tupac cover for Vibe.
Oh.
So I came in as an intern as he was just finishing his first cover at Vibe as the new guy doing like the timing couldn't have been better,
That's
man.
what I was gonna say. You had. That's what I'm sitting here thinking. That like you go to Vibe in 1996, bro. Like
Yo,
that's
the
crazy.
the heart of everything. Tupac is on fire. He had just did like and then this is what put Vibe on the map on the digital side. Vibe.com had just got Tupac when he came out. They got like this exclusive interview. It's always on YouTube. If you see it, he's on the couch in all black, and people always use it. They had just gotten that, and everybody was like, yo, you got to go to vibe.com because that was the only way you could see it. It wasn't on TV. People ain't have that shit on their phones or nothing.
Yeah.
So, but everybody's connection was so slow. So Pac could be like, yeah, and them niggas. Yo, it'll be like these pauses and stuff because it wasn't no broadband and nothing like that. So you had to go like, to schools or like maybe the library or something to really be able to see it in full so it could run. But the fact that Vibe was able to scoop him like that, and that's a whole nother story. We tell that story. If you go to vibe.com, we tell the story of how they got that, which is freaking phenomenal. But I say all that to say that's how I got started. I got started then. Vibe was making its name on the digital front. The magazine was still rocking. I ended up leaving there, going to Double XL magazine, from the first issue out. Later on, I ended up becoming editor.
Double XL starts what in 98 or something like that?
97. Yeah, we had that first issue with Jay-Z and Master P.
Nice.
And that was just like, wow, man. Like that was the first time I got to see my name in print, even though I was with Vibe for a year as an intern. I was only on Vibe.com, and it was so much competition in Vibe in the printed joint. It was like if you got in there, your name was golden. But I was at Vibe and I never got in, not because I didn't necessarily try, but it's because I came in with the tech team, with the digital team, and they didn't really look at us like that.
Oh.
So they was like, "Oh, those the digital people," and you know what I'm saying? It was like real church and state almost. But then when I got over to Double XL, I was still kind of interning at Vibe, and they saw my name in there. They was like, "Yo, you in this joint?" And we was making noise, man. I had my first feature. I did. Why is this still going? This shit is so crazy. I did my first feature, man. I got my first big check. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo, I was on top of the world, man. I was like, yeah, you can put cheese on that. You can put some cheese on it. You know what I'm saying? I got the money now, baby. And then we left. And so around that time, that's when I met Adell. I was doing Vibe Music Seminar. What that was 97 or 98.
Dude, that was 98. That was August 98.
So wait a minute. You know what? I was at Double XL then. So
Yeah.
I had already left Vibe.
Oh yeah.
And I was on staff at Double XL. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just happened to go because the previous 2 summers at the Vibe Music Seminars, which were huge, man. You would find everybody there.
Right.
I was passing out flyers. I used to pass out the flyers there. Yo, I'm about to take this. Go ahead, hey, you talk. I gotta get this thing.
Nah, that's cool. Adell, I mean, we can start then. We'll jump back because we where y'all met at. So we'll go back to Adell. You know what I'm saying? When you were starting out, bro, your whole journey is crazy. Just how you even fell into it, dog.
Bro. No, it's crazy. I think a huge part of it, man, is that law of attraction, man. It's really having in your mind what you really want to do, and just continuing to take these daily steps to get towards it, even though long term, you know how you're gonna get there. So for me, growing up in Flint, Michigan, I ain't know nobody that worked in the entertainment industry. I ain't know nobody working, music or television or anything like that. But I knew that's what I wanted to do. I knew that's what I was going to do. So my big my break, really getting to cut my teeth in the industry started off when I went to college. I went to Michigan State, and pretty much as soon as I stepped foot on campus, there was a dude who lived in my dorm who was a part of a video production team that was funded by the student government. It was and basically what they did, what they were doing was college video. For the most part, people are familiar with the whole idea of college radio, but they were doing college video. They had an actual video show that they would go record over at the public access station, and the school would, fund that venture. We had an office space, because I eventually got in, within like a few weeks of me stepping foot on campus, because he was in the organization and everybody that was in the year before graduated. So he was like, yo, I want to do a hip hop show. And I was like, oh, I'm that guy. This is, what I always wanted to do. But so that was pretty much my in into the industry. Cause once I was like, okay, we're going to be playing music videos. That means we got to reach out to the record labels, and like, oh snap. All these records I've been collecting all these years, like, man, I actually get a chance to reach out to the labels and start creating a relationship. And that was my in into the industry, reaching out to these record labels and having them sending us music videos to play on our video show.
Yeah, but I mean, you said that, but you got to run down, I mean, the videos you're playing, bro, and the relationships, you know what I mean? The meeting and all this type of stuff that you're doing. Because it's more than that. It's not.
Oh, no, I do. You see our first real conversation. You see how long that was.
Yo,
I'm trying to give you the edited version. Let's take you the edited version, man. That's what I was trying to do. This would be one of them old Combat Jack 5-hour episodes. So, dog, on, it's so funny, man. I mean, one of the things that got me so excited about, this Donnie Houston guy, like, man, who is this Donnie Houston guy, man? It's doing these, this crazy podcast on, Houston hip hop culture. Like, cause I grew up such a fan of Houston hip hop, primarily because of Rap A Lot. I gravitated towards Rap A Lot in the real early days, man. Like, 87, 88, 89. Like I was like, yo, Ghetto Boys, Scarface, Willie D, all of that, man. So my with that being said, when I did get into a position to where it's like, okay, I'm doing college video and we need to figure out what labels are sending us stuff, what labels aren't, I was like, man, we ain't getting no stuff from Rap A Lot. That's gonna be my first call. So I looked up their number, called down there, made a connection with my man Carlton Joshua in the video department, man. That dude was so super cool. And I mean, man, my mind was blown just to think like, wow, I'm a part of the experience now. And it was just so dope. So longer story short, after my first freshman year of college, I ended up staying that following summer. But after my second year, I started going to New York. So that was, for me, it's crazy to think that Daytona, I'm talking about dates. I started going to New York, spending my summers in 95. That was my first summer there. And that's when I started to go over to Vibe magazine, because one of my homeboys was assisting the editor-in-chief of that time, Keith Clinkscales. And so I would just, be just, man, happy to be in the building and be a fly on the wall, and got a chance to experience so many dope conversations between, man, future heroes, of mine, Keith Clinkscales, Jamil Spencer, Lynn Burnett, Jamil was, the what key marketing guy over there. What was Jamil's role over there?
I forgot his
Vibe.
particular
I know he did
title,
marketing.
He did marketing and sales. Yep, he was good, man.
But he eventually went
later
on doing Blue Flame with
Jay-Z
Puff,
Diddy,
working with Jay-Z. I mean, just right. So we used to, I used to be over there, and then Lynn Burnett was the publisher of Vibe, who went on to do Uptown magazine. I mean, just amazing dudes, man. So so it's crazy that our paths later crossed, but we definitely had those roots at Vibe magazine, because for the next few years I was in and out of that building so much, and just that place was like just shaping and molding me, man.
Yeah. So talk about, the moment we'll go back to King. Once y'all meet, because y'all met at Vibe, because that's kind of what we
at Vibe conference. We ain't even meet at Vibe.
Nah, we didn't meet in the building. We met,
and I'm pretty sure we was in that building the same time, plenty times.
Yep. But it was at the conference. Vibe used to do a summer conference for like 3 days at the Waldorf Astoria too. It was on some sexy shit, 5-star, hotel.
No, this joint was in the city though. This shit was
this one was at the Hilton.
Right, at the Hilton.
Yeah.
Yep. It was at the Hilton.
Year, that 98 year was at the Hilton.
Yep.
And a mutual friend of ours, Bobby
Yan.
Bobby Yan, I'm fucking up. Bobby Yan. It's 20 years, damn it.
20 years, bro. It's been 20 years.
But Bobby Yan, he introduced me and A together. And me and Bobby were cool. But me and A ended up becoming brothers. It's like somebody introduced y'all, then you cool with that person, but you end up being extra cool with this person.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what happened with us, and we just stayed in contact. And I was over at XXL. Then I bounced over to hook.com, which was like it was like an e-commerce hip-hop website where all the different hip-hop websites was coming out at the time. Talking 360 Hip Hop. Who else was out at the time?
Allhiphop.com.
It was so many that came out during that time. And we came out as hook.com. And it was bugged out, man. We had Diddy who was connected to us on the business end, but then that's when he got the gun charge, and he was going through that whole trial.
And then we were covering it. Then we were covering the trial on the website.
On the website, it was really weird, man. It was a weird time, and no one really came out of that unscathed as far as like websites are concerned, because the internet bubble burst around 2001. And we really 2000, but 2001, we saw the decline of all these angel investors. They weren't putting money back into all of these things. And that was across the board, not just in hip hop. And around that time, the publishers of XXL reached out to me and was like, yo, you want to do that idea you was talking about? And before I left Double XL to go with Hook.com, we had a really dope franchise in eye candy, um, where we would put like the hot video girl
Right, right,
or hot dope beautiful woman within urban culture. We would put them and give them like a spread in the magazine. So
right.
you have all these rappers, all these rims, and then next thing you know, here's this incredible, beautiful black woman usually. And I told them we should make that the magazine. I was like, yo, Maxim was really about to kill. Um, you had Black Men was out at that time,
Hmm.
Yep.
you know, Black Men magazine. But I felt like what we were doing at Double XL, we had so much music in it, we didn't have enough culture to cover the cars and the clothes and the girls and all of that stuff because we were more of a music magazine with those things sprinkled in. I was like, yo, let's flip it. And they were like, nah. So when they told me no, that's when I went over the hook. But then, like a year and a half later, they came to me and was like, let's do that because they saw what was happening in magazine sales with Maxim and Stuff and FHM. And they were like, yeah, let's go do this, you know? And it was funny because when we were coming up with eye candy, they didn't even want that in there. They was like, no, you're going to mess up the magazine. No, nah, don't put no girls in it.
Nah, I remember. No, when as soon as you said eye candy, I knew exactly what you were talking
Yeah,
about. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Damn
Yep.
right.
And that was just me, Black Spot, and my man Don. When you came to Double XL in the office, it was a bunch of cubicles. And
A
Black,
bunch of
I
cubicles.
mean, like it was a million of them, man. And my man Black Spot and I, we had the junkiest, most dorm room cubicle that two 26-year-olds could have, or 27. No. I was younger than that. What
Yeah,
the?
you younger than that.
I was
Yeah.
22. I was
Yeah.
20 at the time, 22-year-olds. Like, you had basically young black dudes at the height of their profession with the illest rap world around you. And we were getting every music, CD, DVD, VHS tapes, they were still going, all types of merch, big ass I mean, we were getting so much shit, and we had a cubicle. So it was junky. The one thing you could see in our cubicle though was all the posters of the women that we
Hmm.
love.
Mm.
So I remember Don walked in our cubicle was like, y'all should put some of them in there. And we had mentioned that a while ago, but it didn't click until Don said, like, y'all got rappers with the girls like this. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. So we came up with eye candy. But then I was like, we should make it the magazine.
Mm.
And then when they hit me back, we came up with King. But it was their idea to say, like, yo, come back and go do this. And then that's when I had to hit my man A, and we started rocking.
And I mean, it was a hit off top. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh man. Wild hit. But this is the craziest thing though. We came out, we put together the preview issue um in the summer of 2001. So we dropped in August 1st, actually, with the preview issue, just for advertisers and stuff. And then now we're planning out the premiere issue, the real joint for the consumers. As we're planning it, 9/11 happens.
Man.
And matter of fact, that was the day we were
Man.
supposed to shoot the designer of Coogee, the Coogee sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And Big had been he had been gone from us for quite some time, and they were trying to reboot Coogee for the new set because it had been like a good 4 years, and yeah, 3 4 years. And I remember like, yo, if we get the Coogee dudes, since they were spending so much money, we gonna be right. It's gonna be dope. And I remember that was the day, and the towers fell, and God bless all of those people. But I remember the publishers were like, this is the worst market to try to do anything new
Right.
because the country didn't know what was going to happen. But they were like, yo, we're committed to the mag. If you are, let's just keep going. Let's see what we can do. Let's get in this market. and we ended up pushing through, and we came out November 27th, 2001.
Man, that's crazy. What's some of y'all favorite moments or like favorite covers or just anything from, you know what I mean, that came off of the strength of just doing King?
Wow, man. I got favorite shoots that weren't even covers.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. It was just so many, man.
So many amazing moments,
So
man.
many movies.
Yeah, yeah.
So many movie type experiences,
Yeah.
man.
Each episode could be a movie, man. Each issue.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Each shoot. Shit.
Shoot, yeah. I mean, crazy shoots.
If y'all had to say what would be like the top 5, you know what I mean, shoots from the King era?
Well, Tyra Banks is one that we talk about a lot when we do stuff like this, but I have to say it on your show too, because when we were putting the magazine together and we were trying to come up with the logo, the publishers brought me into the office and was like, yo, here's some of the logos that we've been playing with. And I looked and I was like, I knew exactly which logo I wanted, right? When I saw it, because they had like, it was crazy. They had like a good eight different logos out for King. And the one that we ended up using was chunky. It was big. It felt strong. I was like, yeah, but it was going to take up a lot of the cover. So I was like, yeah, we're going to block it a lot of times, but I'd rather have that. So I'm thinking like that. And they looking at me like, well, look, don't worry about the girl on the cover. You'll never get Tyra Banks. They used Tyra Banks as a hold-in because we hadn't shot, covers yet.
Yeah.
We were just getting low. So they had her as like a hold-in. It was her, I think it was her Sports Illustrated cover or her GQ one of the two. It was Sports Illustrated. And it was like, yeah, don't worry about her. You'll never get her. So, don't get your hopes up.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Like shitting on me. Yeah. And I was just like, that's how I felt. I don't think they was shitting on me.
Did they give you the green light and it still was like a little like, yeah, I don't really know if this is going to work? Like,
yeah, it was definitely that. It was more of like, let's just see what happens. You know what I mean? Because the market hadn't been tapped in the way that we were trying to attack it. Black Men, I got to give them their props. They was there, or Ebony Men. I think Ebony Man was still out at the time, and they were doing, like different kind of press release kind of shots. Black Men, no, they were definitely doing shoots, but the women were like, they weren't necessarily video girls all the time or super entertainer girls. Some of them were, and I love my mans over there, all of them, Blasting Game and the whole team.
Right.
But what we were trying to do was we was trying to elevate it and go for the top, or at least usher in a whole new generation. And by saying that we couldn't get Tyra was like, to me, a slap in the face. Even though they was just really like, yo gotta go down hard, man. Like, trust us, just get the video girls and some hot little chicks and you good.
The bar was low. Their bar was low.
And man, oh man, I went on like a 3-year trek just to get her. So what I would do, I found out her birthday is December 4th, like Jay-Z. Yep. Like, her birthday is December 4th. I would send flowers to her office out in Burbank. Then I was like, Valentine's Day. I sent flowers to her office on Valentine's Day.
Has y'all met before? Or you just like dry sending flowers?
I was like, yo, from Datwon and the King team. And and they started, I know they had to be, I was like, I would always send, saying like, yo, we ready when you ready. I would issue with it, just letting them know like what we was doing. It was always a dope package. And it finally cracked, like on year 3, I finally cracked the code. Or year 2. It was 2003, eh?
Let me see. It was
2004.
I think it was 2004. Yeah.
Yeah, 2004. So
sure 2004. Yeah.
Third year, man. And I remember her doing an interview.
Or was it 03? It might have been 03.
I don't know, man. It was
either way, one of them.
Yeah. And I remember her doing an interview because she had done like, this is Donnie, man. This is around the time when America's Next Top Model is on fire. It's on fire. It's bigger than anything you could think of. It's like on American Idol, their ratings. You know what I'm saying? So she finally was like, yo, let's go. And her team was like, yeah, she been getting these joints. We've been letting her know. I didn't know if she was getting them or not. I was just sending them, and her team could expect them like this.
Hmm.
And I remember we talked about it, and she had her mom come. I'm skipping. Pardon me. We go do the shoot. At that point, we had done hundreds of shoots probably in the 3 years. And it was wild. A regular shoot would take, 6 to 7, almost 8 hours.
Damn.
If our longest shoot up until that point was 16 with Gloria Velez. Me and
In
A did that in
Vegas.
Vegas. 16. Yo, it was a
And
real
Gloria, man, I used to be. I mean, she's still fine, but damn, bro,
Oh, yeah.
Gloria Les, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
16-hour shoot, man. She's a trooper too.
Trooper.
why was it? Why was it so long?
Because we were going to different locations. We were doing it out in the street, which was so crazy. And we needed like nighttime shots. And
Yeah, we needed a nighttime shot. We had the car.
We had the cars. It was so much involved.
And
in that.
just the background, making sure we had the right background, and then the shot and how things were. It was a lot. Getting her greased, keeping her greased up.
And it was getting cold.
Keeping her oiled up.
Everybody thinks Vegas is hot, but at night that joint is
it gets cold. Yeah.
Bro. So it was crazy, man. It was dealing with the elements. But I bring that up because we had 7 hours allotted for Tyra, and they were like, "Oh, we ain't gonna need all that," and we was like, "Yeah, all right." Yo, when I tell you, and usually it would be a minimum of at least 3 looks for women that we were at, a minimum. Tyra did the whole shoot in 3 hours.
Damn.
Hold on. 5 different looks. 5 different sections. One of the looks, she was walking back to the green room in the spot, and she grabbed the curtain and put the curtain around her, and it looked like she was naked, and that became a shot. Like she was she was banging them out. Now, boom, it was only 3 hours because she took lunch for an hour and a half. She did all 5 looks in an hour and a half, bro.
No shit.
Boom, boom, boom. And then we was just chilling for the rest.
Was she the first like vet to come through? Because I mean, other than like the video girls, you know what I mean? It's a different thing with a Tyra Banks, I would imagine. You know what I mean?
I would say this: we had Gabrielle Union by then. We had Little Kim by then. We had so many big dogs before her.
Right.
She was the biggest.
Right, by far.
By far the biggest and the most skilled as a model actress, higher learning. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Deja.
Word. She was just incredible, man. And like I learned so much from her about lighting, angles, attitude, presence, what you do. And I was already in for all those years. I was like, oh, this is how it could be with talent. Boom, 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 boom. Out. Yo, y'all good? We straight? Love y'all. Hugs. When y'all get the photos, hit me up. So boom, she goes back to Cali, comes back like maybe a week or so later with her mom.
With her mom, who's also a photographer, right?
Well, also is a dope Tyra Banks' mom's is an ill photographer. She came back and we all were in the hotel. Me, her, our photo director, Andrea, and our creative director, Evan. And we was all going through the shots with her mom. Like picking out the joints, getting the mag. This is the days before digital. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And one of the most amazing experiences to see how the top level people deal with production. And I learned so much from that because I just knew everything in production, but that right there was just like far and beyond one of the best experiences ever.
Yeah, that sounds crazy, man. That sounds crazy. Yeah. Hey, man, what would be one that stands out for you, man? I mean, Tyra Banks is huge. I don't know what you're gonna do to top that one, but
no, I mean, it was shit. I actually wrote the cover story, so that's still for me.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you once again. I mentioned earlier, man, just that whole idea of dreaming big and talking things into existence, and just the whole law of attraction, man. He's talking about how Tyra Banks swimsuit issue was a placeholder as we were coming up with the logo for King. Dog, I had that Tyra Banks swimsuit edition on my wall 6 years previously,
Hmm.
of doing that cover, and what I didn't realize at that time, what I come to realize now, even as I was a kid, when I put things on my wall, I mean, it was pretty much my vision board. So me having Tyra Banks in my college apartment on the wall, blown up. I went across the street, got that joint blown up 3 different sizes, and just had it spread out, not knowing that 6 years from now, I'm gonna interview her on the cover, of a magazine that I'm gonna help to launch. I mean, it was just mind blowing, man. So by far, that's definitely, man, to do the cover story, mind blowing. I think for us, the biggest game changing photo shoot for us, in terms of just like what took us from 0 to a 60, just not even 0 to 60, but just giving us a whole different level of momentum, was Maya. Maya was definitely a breakthrough issue. We had great momentum since day one of us dropping King, but when we did that Maya issue,
Yeah.
bro, what I would like I knew at the shoot, it's like, man, it's like even preparing for that shoot. I mean, it's just so many amazing things. And what people don't understand, going in, she wasn't guaranteed to be the cover. Like, we told her, like, this is gonna be a cover try, because at that time, she hadn't really been active. She
That's
hadn't
the
been
thing.
releasing any
Y'all
music.
pulled out Maya. It was like, I remember walking in the store and I'm like, oh shit, these boys have pulled out Maya.
Bruh,
Why Maya? Maya's still fine. What's going on?
bruh. And to see how not only people responded to that cover and that issue, but to see, like, okay, man, now the game put it in a song. I mean,
Yeah.
and then it's in the music video, and it's just
Another
like,
thing, another thing that I don't know if you even know, probably like a year later after that cover, the president of the company, Stanley Harris, he was on vacation in China with his wife. And him and his wife, I think they were in Shanghai, and they went to a gallery. It was like some famous artist. They went to the gallery, big dog spot out there. Walk in, huge ass Maya King cover
stop it,
in the gallery. In the
stop it.
gallery, it was an exhibition, and what the dude did was he had paint on all these
Oh,
different.
I remember though. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and he had King as one, and it was the Maya cover that made it all the way to China in this exhibit. With, I was just like,
That's
so
crazy.
he was so excited because a property that he made ended up in the damn exhibit. You know what I'm saying? This is his company shit, and he's like, yo, imagine being in, you rich as hell.
Right,
You're not
right,
You go
right,
expecting
out,
it. Yeah,
you ain't expecting none of that. He's like, yo, look at my shit up there.
right.
So, but I just go to, I say that because it just shows the reach and the length of how influential and impactful King was, and these beautiful women that we had the luxury of covering.
Y'all had Free on there. The Free one, that was one that
Ooh,
always stands.
free.
All right, I gotta tell you about the free joint.
Ooh, another one of my covers.
That's what the cover
Ooh.
too.
Hey, hold on, all time bestseller.
All-time bestseller.
Free? The Free one?
Yes,
No
sir.
shit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I'll credit it to the perfect storm.
Mm.
I had been going after Free for like 3 years,
Whew.
and that came
He
out.
was off the show by then. I want to say.
She was just lit. She had
was
it was
leaving.
just leaving. So this is gonna be a part of her transition plan going
Coming out.
out. Yep.
And what was so funny,
That was
she
like 06,
05.
05.
And what was so funny, she swears to this day that she was like, yo, I didn't plan on leaving immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was going through negotiations, but then they broke down, and it just so happened to happen without cover. Excuse me. The title was Free at
At
Last.
last. Yeah,
Right.
I remember that. Yeah.
Some people thought that that was because she was leaving BET.
Mm.
I was saying we got free at last. Like,
Finally, like finally.
but what was even iller is like it was a triple entendre because you have King, Martin Luther King, free at last. It was like all these different layers to that particular cover.
Mm.
But I say the timing aspect because she was leaving. We hadn't we had been wanting her for so long, and she was such a big figure within the urban audience.
She was dropping music at that time.
Yeah, oh man, it
Yeah.
was insane for her. And then you never really seen her show off the cake.
Ever.
Yeah, for real.
So
We would always sneak peeks watching 106 and be like, ooh,
Right.
ooh, try to catch angles, but she never, did anything remotely close to that.
that was huge. And it was such a big hit, man. Everyone loved it.
Mm.
Like we talk about it often now, you know.
And one of the sweetest people ever.
Oh man,
One of the
just one of the
sweetest,
best.
nicest, coolest people that you always want to see win. Just man, to this day,
Matter of fact, she got a soap company now. She started a soap brand where she makes the soap herself. So if y'all out there, y'all listening, go check Free's IG, Miss Free Marie, I think it is.
got Miss Free Marie.
Yup, go check her.
Man, that's crazy. I just lost my train of thought. I'm talking about.
It's all good. Free will do that to you.
That's right. That's right.
For real. Oh my
Free-
God.
Nah, it's all love, bro. Free to do that to you, man. And I also feel like we set trends outside of just the women, with the magazine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Adell, I have to give it to him. He was very adamant about us making sure that we rode the line of education, informing, service. It was always a big thing for me, but I would always get hit about, yo, just add more girls. And it was like, nah, we got to add more information for these young dudes out here. So if it would be things on how to conduct yourself at a job interview, here's some of the gear that you need to rock. Here's some of the things that you need before you go for that.
Mhm.
Are you having issues with your baby moms? Like, here's some things that you have to do in the courts and stuff like that. Like, and we would find funny ways and cool ways to make it, enjoyable and consumable, but it was also very informative.
Dude, one of my favorite pieces that we did, we ran down Steve Harvey in our early days. And we wanted to do a piece on Steve because it's like we would always see Steve suited up, you know what I'm saying? Haircut super tight, line was always crazy and on point. But we, at that time, you got to think we launched in 2001. That was like the big white tee, baggy jean era,
Right.
the hats, baseball caps. And it's just like, man, this dude is in a suit all the time. And we did a piece on him, like, bro, break down the whole suit thing to us. We don't get it. Like, just, that was the whole piece, just, dude, give us, like, how do you rock a suit and why do you rock a suit so much and all? And it was just like, that was like, that was like issue like number 3, but that's what we were on. It was just so much more than
just women,
just a magazine with the girl. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
that's what I was gonna ask. So
And
y'all were saying, how tough it was to get Tyra Banks. Was there anybody that you never got? Like you really wanted to get this person, and it just never came through.
go ahead.
Man.
You could go ahead and grab that one.
Listen here. I'm gonna tell them we both got stories
Got our own, yeah.
on certain ones. I mean, people know the obvious ones that we were going after, but there's certain stories. Like I got a long history of going after Halle Berry. I mean, I'm talking about like I had like such an awkward, unorthodox method story of how I was gonna go just get her. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make it seem like we don't want her that bad and try to, just sort of just ease in and be cool, So I got real close to her manager. And I figured out the other talent that he was working with at the time. He was working with Taraji Henson. He was working with dang, what's my girl that played Bernie Mac's wife on the Bernie Mac
Yeah.
show? Kalita Smith. She was dope. So he would come to the shoots and I would kick it with him, and I would sort of bring up Halle, but not really. I would literally see this dude on red carpets, right, like with Halle, and totally ignoring her and just talking directly to him. Because I'm figuring like, damn, if I could get in good with him, he could convince her.
Right.
And so so we never got Halle.
Never no
I
word on
remember,
like nothing, just nothing.
bro. It was one of those things. It didn't happen. And I remember finally, man, she sort of got me to talk to her. I was interviewing her for, I think, like Gothica. We were doing like a junket, and she was just like, man, you look familiar. I'm like, yeah. So anyway, interview starting. So at the end of the interview, she finally got me to, where do I know you from? And how do you know? And it all came out. Yeah, okay. I'm doing this with b.i.g, but also, with King, and we've been trying to get you. And she's like, oh, yeah.
That's what it is. You've been trying to get in my
Dude, I'm talking about for years.
So she just,
I
it was just
remember,
oh, and that was it. That's what it was.
It just, and it would suck because we would see her do other mags and like, yo.
She did FHM one time, man.
I remember the FHM. Yeah.
Yo, man, I wanted to throw a whole stove at everybody over there.
I used to roll up. I ran into Serena a few times. Like I remember the first time.
Serena was
like the first or second. I think like the second time I rode up on Serena. Just talking to her. Da 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 da. We're at a club. It's her, Venus, and I went in my pocket. I just gave her my car. Like, hey, yeah, we need to catch up. She's like, all right, cool. She took my car, put it in her back pocket, and like kind of walked away. And I was like, first of all, my card's in her back pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a moment for me. That was a moment. Then she I watched her go over like to her little section, looked at the card, looked up at me. Man, she walked back to me like, I can't do this. I can't. She's like, it's like little girls, they look up to me. I was like, yo, you did the body issue for ESPN.
Later. Right.
You did the body. You're butt naked in ESPN.
She ended up doing Black Men Later. I was like, yo, yeah, she did do it, man. That was the one time I was like, damn, Black Men got us. That was the one.
Like, what?
That was the one time. And then the other one was Beyonce.
They got the Beyonce stories.
I got way too many Beyonce stories of how many times I went for her. It was a solid 3, but it was really 5. And each time it was poof, shot me out the sky. Poof, that is like, I know Jay even was like, poof, no king for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I will say,
but Jay let us shoot him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Jay was like, "Yeah, we good. Let's shoot."
Yeah,
I ended up doing that joint, but those were like the top 3 that we didn't get out of everybody that we didn't. Those 3 in particular were the ones that we kind of like had our eye. No, we had our eye on.
Listen,
and we really wanted them.
Boy.
Oh, and to go back to Tyra Banks real quick, I remember when we shot her, she was like, yo, if I can do stuff in FHM and all of them, then I could do my brothers at King.
Listen.
That's real.
Damn, yo.
Listen.
That's why I love her forever. She could do all, like, she could run up on cats, snuff them out, put a couple of holes in them. I'll be like, yo, man, she's a good person.
And you got to think, this is
that's a good lady, man.
Was still at the top of her game, creating TV, and it's like, dog, she rocked with us, man. That was just so dope, man.
And she didn't have to. She didn't have to say that, So it just kind of like put you with you knew where her mind was. It was like, oh, okay, she rocking for us because she realizes what that symbolism means. And I don't know if a lot of, people, and males included, I don't know if they know what it means to go over to GQ, go over to Vanity Fair, go over to Vogue, but then don't do Ebony, don't do King, don't do, Essence.
Right.
It's a difference, man. Like, don't send no signals. You know, let's all support.
Yeah. So, man, what does I mean, 20 years, man. What y'all doing to celebrate, man?
Ooh, you know them parties coming, bro.
We got to do them, man. We got to
Them
do a
parties are going.
You got to do something. This is
Yeah, we got to. We got to.
Uh,
And we when we were out there, actually, that's when A was like, "Yo, Dave, we gotta tighten up the actual joints, like the venues and who it is." So I threw a couple of ideas out, excuse me, to some sponsors, and if we get this one in particular, it'll be better than what we expected. So I at least want to do one in New York and at least do one in Cali.
yeah, that's a given.
So,
New York and LA
yeah,
is a given, but I mean it's, and I think beyond, and I can see us doing other cities, just cause. But my vision, too, I know that, dude. This is gonna go so far and beyond that, man. It's, the actual date is in November, but I mean this is, man, we celebrating all year long.
yeah.
And who knows what these different experiences are gonna eventually, turn into, man. It's been great even since we start throwing little nuggets out there about the anniversary and throw little, nuggets about the podcast. I mean, people, yo, bring it back. We want more.
wow to
Let us
see that.
know. We down. We want to be a part of it. All of that.
So, hey, you
That's
know
what
this.
that's
Oh, go ahead, D.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the A. You know what it feels like, man. Like this whole week and really this whole year, but this last week and change, I've been seeing so many different anniversaries for albums, and it'll be like 20 years, 25, 30, and you see
Right.
people praising these albums. And then
Right.
here I am, I'm praising the album that affected me and changed my life or made me see something or the enjoyment of it. It's so bugged out for me to be a part of something to create
Bruh.
and help foster, and it sits in people's lives
Right.
like, yo, I had this and it was here. And, oh, I remember reading this and this joint was, it's almost like having like a classic album and
Right.
people just want you to, relive that era for them. Because there's some albums that I, once I listen to them, it takes me back to my mom's crib.
Yeah.
Bruh, it's like we were like, if we were Def Jam and we, like, every issue was a release.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. I'm curious though. Donnie, like, what is your, like, when you think King Magazine, what comes to your mind? I'm curious.
King Magazine. As far as what, man? Because I mean, if
Like,
you say,
what is so, like, what is, when
if
you
you say
think
the
about
word
the whole
King
idea of
Magazine,
King Magazine, like, what comes to your mind, your earliest memories, your
Reagan
favorite
Gomez is the
issues?
first one that's gonna come to my mind. Probably
Which
like
one?
Reagan Gomez.
Oh, yeah. Now she had
That
the
one,
one
that one
with the great.
always. If somebody says King Magazine, I always remember walking in and being like, "Oh shit, Zaria."
Was that the 5th anniversary one? It's like a brown
Okay.
black.
Yeah, because she did two covers. Like, which
She did.
It was the
was
first.
it the
It got to be the first one.
Yeah,
was it
so
the
it's the
first
5th.
cover or her first shoot?
No,
Nah,
the cover. The cover.
It
Okay,
was the 5th because that's the one that would stop me.
right.
It was
Like
the
she's
cover.
taking
She was
damn
on
near.
the cover of this one I'm talking about.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yep.
Another sweetheart, man.
And,
Oh, that's
yeah, we
family right
interviewed
there.
her on the podcast too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got her on the podcast, man. Oh, that's dope, right? And you see, I wouldn't even expect you to say that. We forget that people have their own joints. You know what I'm saying? Like people will remind me of shoots. I forgot. Like, oh damn, we did do that.
Yeah.
So that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I
it's a
got to-
gang of them, but the Reagan Gomez one, that one I just always remember like, damn, they got
That
Reagan
was,
Gomez?
and the thing is, our very first Reagan shoot, that was another game changing, defining King moment for us. That shot of her coming out of the pool, like, that's
Yeah.
like that's like one of those ones that people always talk about.
Yup.
I think that's one of the ones that not only, helped to, change her, career, but also change her life, because to your point, we knew her as Zaria, from the Parenthood, the cute girl from the Parenthood. And it's like, oh, she grown up.
Yeah.
Yup.
And it was around that time when we did that particular shoot is when I started to be in different rooms and hear how different Hollywood casting directors would say, like, hey man, yeah, we look at King. We look at King as we're figuring out, who that next, girl is, and we definitely, King is one of those markers for us to let us know, like, all right, who's coming up.
Yeah. Does what does King look like, or is there a place for King in 21 with Instagram and everybody already putting up their own pictures and like videos not really being like the main thing anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, like what does King look like? Does King exist in the 2021, or is it just like a timepiece, like a dope ass era?
I would say there's a space for it because of the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
But I also know that it would have had and will transform, because there's something about a governing body that stamps something. You know what I'm saying? Like right now you have a bunch of different videos that we have way more videos than when we came out.
Right.
Way more. There's tons of videos every day. Imagine there's a governing body that says we're going to pick this girl from that video, this girl from that video, this girl from that video, and say, hey, these are the hottest ones. You have a hierarchy, and that's what King was doing back then. Then you go, all right, we're going to go into the movies. Oh, what's her name? The Tyra Paris girl that's in Marvel. You got the Zaza Beats girl. You got this. Yo, we're gonna bring them to the forefront and make them superstars. We're gonna give them covers and show them. That's what's missing right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to put
I really kind of set you up to see, like, are y'all bringing it back or what? You know what I mean?
Listen, hey, I'm gonna tell you listen. I will say this right now, officially on your show. Either King is coming back or a iteration of King is coming back. I mean, it's definitely a space. It's definitely a space, for it, because I mean, right now, if King, were existing, Megan Good would be on the cover. She just celebrated her 40th birthday. She still looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, I mean, yeah, we'd be able to. I mean, look at the Sports Illustrated Megan Thee Stallion cover. Come on, man. You can't tell me that's not a King cover.
Yeah.
Automatic. That ain't
You
a
can't
Sports
tell me
Illustrated cover.
Naomi Osaka's cover, isn't a King cover.
Yeah.
Right. So
are y'all looking at the game like that now? Like, man, this is us. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
It's so funny. Other people are.
They're
hitting us, alerting us to it. Like, yo, this all day. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, damn, they right.
Sports Illustrated has never put a rapper on the swimsuit cover,
and no one
of the swimsuit issue.
Never, like that. Ever. That's the thing. The thick, like, yeah,
right, yeah, right. So they didn't go get like, well, Cassie wasn't a rapper, but Cassie was, their type, body type, and beautiful girl. She would have, been on ours too. But Megan, that's King all day.
All the way.
That's King all day. And you got to understand, I mean, King was a lifestyle magazine. It wasn't, I mean, yeah, we definitely had girls that were in music videos that became a part of the experience. And, we definitely gave them a platform, but we had so many different girls. Like you said, man, Tyra Banks is a supermodel. Don't sleep on, Janet Jackson. We had Janet on the cover.
Yeah.
Right. From, models, TV, film, lifestyle. I mean, it's just so many different things. And then in between those sheets, all of the things from cars to sports, to community. I mean, those were, shoes, gadgets. Those were fixtures in the magazine.
Yeah.
So, so for us to give that same type of experience, those are all things that we still love and enjoy to this day.
All the way.
So when we get in the first new issue, man.
You stay tuned, man. Keep that between
digging.
us.
Donnie's digging. That's the new. That's the new podcast. Donnie digging.
Hey. You know what I'm saying? I grew. Listen, I grew up, watching Donnie Simpson on video. So now we got Donnie Houston. You know what I'm saying, on these podcast airwaves, burning it up, man.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the story. We giving you the You know, we giving you the tea right now, man.
This guy.
You know, you're gonna get some iteration of King, you know, much sooner than later.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, man, I appreciate y'all taking time out, man, to chop it up, bro.
Thank you,
Oh, for
fam.
sure,
Thank
man.
you. And I'm definitely gonna hit you about that interview with Screw. I'm gonna hit you, bro.
Please, bro. Please, man.
Got you.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, our trade day experience, man. You know, it's me in particular, dude. I was coming to Houston looking for you, brother.
He
That's
mentioned
real
that
talk.
too. He mentioned that. He
It
did.
was
I was
crazy bumping into
coming
y'all.
to
I told
Houston.
Adell, I was like, man, bumping into y'all, that was a highlight for me for the weekend. You know what I mean? Like,
Love, man. I so appreciate that, bro.
for real, man. I
Real
appreciate
talk.
y'all, man.
Word up. Well, we in touch. So we got it now. We in. Trade A. What up?
Yo.
Represent. And we ain't even get on Rides magazine. You know what I'm saying? We ain't
All
even get on the
right.
fact that
Man,
we were
yes.
1.5 years into launching King, and we launched a whole other magazine with the same staff. Rides magazine.
Doubling up, man. So
very, very first cover was Tyrese on, you know, representing Too Fast, Too Furious.
yep.
You know, and how many years later are they still dropping Fast and Furious, you know, movies? You know,
which
making them.
which started in Vibe magazine.
Huh.
Fast and Furious. They all came from a story in Vibe in '98.
No shit.
How crazy is that?
Racer X, May '98. It's the Master P cover with the team. Check it out.
Man, that's crazy.
History.
Y'all are legends, man. To me,
Appreciate that,
you
bro.
know what I mean? Y'all are legends, man. And like I said, I appreciate y'all just taking time out to chop it up, man.
No doubt, bro.
You cut from the cane. You say you cut from the same cloth, my brother.
So you could tell, man. Much success to you, bro.
For sure, man. Y'all be cool, man.
No doubt.
Absolutely, man. H-Town one time.
Donnie Houston.